Good morning, good morning. When you're out of our mask for the morning. Good morning. Welcome to Misfits Mornings. And boy, it is misfitted this morning. I forgot it's a holiday. Good morning. Oh. Just don't know. There it is. Good morning. Happy Monday. Here comes my dogs. Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, Be Kind Today. How are you? Good morning. I'm getting my cup of coffee. Oh, good morning, girls. My puppies just woke up, so I'm going to get them out the door. Good morning. Hello, Miss Poppy. Good morning. Good morning, Miss Georgia. Gotta let the fur babies out. How are you? Good morning, Miss Amy. Amy, I cannot find my eye mask to save my life. Girl, I slept in my messy buns. I'm wandering around. It is a misfit morning. I forgot I don't have to work today. So I really thought that through. Hello, Andy Man. Welcome in, welcome in. Good morning. Happy Monday. How is it where you are? The bottom dropped out of the temperature over here in Oklahoma. It is cold. Did the coffee pot turn on? Oh, no, it's still warm. Good morning, Miss Ellie. Ellie, I saw all your pictures of the snow in Georgia. Good morning, Jess Marie. Good morning, good morning. A morning nap stream? Yes. Does it say nap or wrap? See, I don't even have my glasses on. A nap stream, we would love that. Oh my gosh, Amy, it's 25 degrees. That's really cold for you guys, isn't it? A sleeping mask? Yeah, I do. Right? I just got my coffee too, Jess. Jess, it's so early for you though. But you're the best. You're hanging out with me. I have so much crap on this desk because I'm not working today. And it is wild. Listen, y'all, I don't even know what holiday it is. I want a hippopotamus for Christmas shirt on with a pumpkin Charlie Brown cup. Can't find my eye masks. I mean, we are 32. Wow. Maverick, you're so nice. That's cute. A nap stream. That would be great. I don't know that, sleeping is really like I literally just woke up. So there's lots to do. I have fur babies that just got let out into the yard. Thanks. Hi, Miss Lisa. Good morning. I had to remember to adjust the, it took me a couple of minutes this morning because I had my LINK still in my thing and I had to remember to go take that and remove it. Yeah, Maverick, I'm working on it. Maverick, what are you doing this morning? Besides hanging out with all of us. You have big plans today? Oof, that light's blinking. That's awful. Just I can't even find my lavender eye masks. Like, where did they go? My daughters use them. And it's like, dude. Thank you, Bianca. Bianca, I forgot we do not work today. Oh, Lisa, I found my ring box, by the way. I can tell you exactly. You do not need to send me anything new because I'm still going to wear the one I have. But hello, Christy K. Welcome in. Good morning. We are literally running around like an absolute chaos coordinator this morning. I cannot for the life of me find my eye mask, so we're probably going to just go all puffy today, which is fine. Oh my gosh. Woo. I don't know. The thought of being out of eye masks is like, no. I've got face mask. Like I could put those on, but God bless. Okay, well, I guess we'll start with getting the hair out of these buns that I fell asleep in. So we drove down to Dallas yesterday. We had, oh, sorry, that was really close for you guys. We drove down to Dallas yesterday just as a day trip with the kiddos. I mean, seriously, every time, oh no, we don't want to go. My husband buys the most random stuff at Buc-ee's. Like with the kids, he's like, here, y'all want some headphones? And I was like, okay. So sure enough, we came out of there with 2 sets of Buc-ee's headphones. And I mean, I can't say much. He bought me Ray-Bans there one time. So he doesn't go for just the beaver nuggets, right? He goes, we got a lap desk for the car. Now this is cute. Okay. If you guys haven't seen this, this was worth, because my daughter, bless her, but it's this little, this is Buc-ee's on, of course, but see how it's made for it to sit on their lap and they can have like a snack or a cup or whatever when they're in the car. Hi, Miss Becky. We just drove down to Dallas. So, okay. We all know that my husband announced on the 2 days before Christmas that he was buying a Tesla, right? Surprise. And he, so he bought one. Okay. Christmas was wow. Maverick, you're so great, but thank you for keeping my algorithm going. You do help with your comments. You are helping boost the algorithm. They love you for that. Yeah, it's okay. He just helps our algorithm. It's okay. You know, he needs a place to belong, and that's okay. So he got a Model 3, and now he wants, thank you for the follow. The logistics of it. So he didn't really think it through and think through, oh, how's this going to work? Like to have other people in the car. And, you know, you got to remember, my husband is 6'3". So he has to have seats kind of far back. And so he wasn't thinking things through, right? And he proceeded to realize that even though it's technically a car that seats 5 people, thank you for that follow, by the way, Maverick. I don't know if I thanked you. He had, I know he needs a good night's sleep, and he needs to, and that's okay. He's in here and he's got a place to belong, and we're gonna love him and be kind to him. And, you know, sometimes we're just going to give him the attention that he needs for a minute. But nobody can sit behind him when he's driving. Now, let me tell you, I am not a fan of the life choices of Elon Musk, who is the face of Tesla. But the Tesla vehicle, as a science teacher, is fascinating. I didn't know how I felt about what they call FSD, which is the full self-driving. Well, Maverick, I think, sweetie, I think you know, and it's okay. You're asking and you're adding comments, which is simply helping my algorithm. But, hun, we got a lot of Southern ladies in here. And we are very close friends outside of social media, and they're very protective of me, because that's what good friendship looks like, right? You show up for each other, and you are 100% welcome to be in here. But sometimes the questions that you're asking when you're on social media can look, it's hard to understand the tone of why you're asking it. So it can be, we don't know if you're asking because you're genuinely asking those things or if you're asking to kind of be disruptive. So that is why my friends in here are being very protective of our space, because this is a very safe space for everybody. Yeah. So this is a good morning and welcome to Misfits Mornings. We are here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:45. We were a little bit late this morning simply because I had to remember to adapt some things in the profile settings before I went live because the TikTok algorithm is a little bit picky. So, but yes, so my girls my people will show up for me. That is the thing. And if you are here and if you are part of our Misfit community, we will, be protective of you as well. And so we have people in here from every shade of melanation to every political spectrum. And this is a space to start your morning and just have a space, because I feel like especially in winter, because I struggle with what they call SAD, seasonal affective disorder. And it's just due to the shorter amount of daylight hours. I know, Ellie, I'm so proud of you. And it is difficult sometimes to kind of keep, hi Bradley, it can be really hard, right? And so it's, for me, having Misfit Mornings, even as the person who's the face on the screen right now, I'm not in here looking like an influencer. I'm literally in here with, I want a hippopotamus for Christmas shirt on. I can't find my eye mask. My coffee is in my Hello Pumpkin shirt. Like, we're not in here being fancy, right? This isn't necessarily always going to be just like this. I don't have work this morning. So, sometimes I'll be putting my makeup on. Sometimes I'm going to be talking to y'all while I'm brushing my teeth. Like, this is just a real life space to start your day out and not feel by yourself. Now, if you want to be by yourself, then you can mute us or scroll on or, go watch Dancing Cats. But for a lot of people, having a space to start out your day where you feel like you're connected to people in the chat and you're connected to the creator is really important. I know, isn't he sweet? He did give me a follow so he can come hang out with us each morning. Maybe we'll rope him in. If I can rope in the guy named Aaron Burr. Listen, I teach all dead for a living. It does take a lot to frazzle me. Thank you for the heart on my noggin. You know what's going to happen now, Bianca? Now I'm going to get a flash call, and you're supposed to give a heart me. I'm so scared to give heart me's now because I feel like every time I go in and I give the heart me, then about 5 minutes later, it'll be like, you have a flash goal. And I'm like, I can only give one. That's nice. That's so great. Now I've got like fear of giving the heart me's. Hi, McCullen. So the Tesla, yes, it is like riding in a spaceship. I did not know how I would feel. You're fine, Bianca. I didn't know how I would feel about full self-driving mode because you're having to put a lot of trust into a machine. And I'm going to be honest, hi, good morning, Charlotte. Oh, yay. I love that, Ellie. I'm so excited for you. Are you thinking about this platform or are you thinking about the book? I know Ellie has this month, she's gotten new team members. She has gotten new customers. She said, here's my goal. And she just within the first week, just kept stacking on it. And she just keeps making her goal. I'm so proud of her. This is huge. I've got a flash goal. Anybody want to guess what it'll probably be? Y'all trip. You woke the Kraken is what happened. 4 gifters to send a heart me. TikTok be doing us dirty. They be doing us dirty. It's hearts. All right, Marianne. Good morning. Marianne, I don't know if you know, I got another puppy. I only have 2, but I didn't know if you knew that I had a new puppy. Yes, you all, Miss Lisa Moe right here. Let me pin it. If you are on the Misfits team, Miss Lisa is on our team as well. And so she's so great. I've got to let her in. So we'll walk over there. I love this little handheld tripod. I feel like I can travel with you guys a little bit better, which is nice. But anyway, back to full self-driving mode on. Come on, Miss Poppy Sue. Easy, good morning. She's only 4 months old. She's so great. My house is a mess, y'all, because I was gone all weekend. So he got this Tesla 3. And I wasn't sure how I would feel about self-driving mode, right? Because I was like, I don't know, I mean, I teach science and I am all for, science advancements, but like, I don't know about where y'all live. Oklahoma people cannot drive. They cannot drive. I mean, they are some of the most, listen, you're in your country truck, go around. Oh my gosh, we achieved our flash goal. Y'all are the best. They're just awful. They are some I feel like I could do St. Louis better. I mean, I don't know. Lisa, have you been down to Oklahoma City? Because I know you were in Kansas for a while. Okay. Hello. Come here. Poppy Sue, you want to say good morning? She's like, no, I want my breakfast. What are you doing? Well, Lisa, I'm technically in Edmond, so just right above. Good morning, Trevor. Now, Dallas, listen. Okay, y'all, Dallas takes the cake. I would drive in New York City. I would drive in Los Angeles. I have driven in Miami. I have driven in Denver and Chicago. Like, I have driven in some big cities. Y'all can have Dallas and Houston. Absolutely not. Worst experiences ever driving. But Oklahoma, it's like the leftover part of Oklahoma City and Houston. Oh, do you really? Oof. I only love driving in Houston because I'm going to the beach. Good morning, Miss Blondie. So he got this Tesla 3, which of course then it was, well, but we're going to be saving so much money. Now, he legitimately is saving money because he had, and oh God, I'm going to sound like this bougie white lady that lives in an HOA neighborhood. And it's probably because I am. But my soul is not, okay? But I still have to say this sentence because it's facts. And for the record, for reference points, my husband and I both grew up in trailer parks. So we have worked incredibly hard to have the life that we have, to give the life that we have to our children. And my husband is a mechanic. He's a blue collar man. He is a felon. He went to prison at 17. He has worked very hard to have the life that we have. And his testimony is one of absolute beauty. And I share that because he has said I can share it. That is not anything bad to him. And I'm a teacher in Oklahoma, which is one of the lowest teacher pays of the country. But he had a BMW. And when I met him, he had a Pontiac Firebird. Okay. Like Joe Dirt level Pontiac Firebird. Right. Yeah. Like Pontiac Firebird. Like I went to go sit in it and I was like, I think I could sit on the ground and be up higher. Good morning, Miss Keeley. So he got a BMW. It had numbers on it, 340i. And I was like, there's no way this man who is 6'3" is going to fit in this car. Good morning, Miss Nellie. I love your face, Miss Keely. I'll snap you here in just a few minutes. Miss Keely, I did a cherry cola nail combo. Do you see it? I'm going to be changing it out. But so he had the BMW and he loved it. But again, nobody could fit in the back. Well, he had a moment of unwisdom. And Puppy Sue, he had a moment of unwisdom. And good morning, Miss Jess. And he proceeded to, without mentioning it, right, I know, Lisa, without mentioning it, he proceeded to go buy himself a brand new motorcycle. And when I say brand new, I mean it had like 6 miles on it. Was it a Harley? No, it wasn't. It was even more expensive than a Harley. It was a Triumph Rocket 3. I didn't even know what that was. Okay. And I said, that's fine. That will not, because I was a little bit sassy that day, because, you know, if I wouldn't probably, well, he was in that moment because, y'all are going to love this. So y'all know I yeeted the uterus out of there. Well, God forbid I had that the day before his birthday. So he threw a little tantrum and went and bought himself a motorcycle. And I was like, boo-hoo. So anyway, that was one that he was solely responsible for everything. He had to figure, because I usually am like the CEO of our life, right? I handle setting up bills. I handle making sure things come out of the account and are paid and blah, 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 blah. And so we each have financially, the way we have it set up is we actually have 3 accounts. We have a joint account that we both put money into that is like for the kids and the groceries and like living life, right? And then I keep a portion of my check in like what is my account, and that's to buy fingernails and makeup and Starbucks and the things that bring me little micro moments of joy. And he has one as well. Well, I said, that's fine, but guess where the payment for that motorcycle is going to be coming out of? Your discretionary account. Thank you. So it only took about a year for him to realize that, one, Oklahoma City drivers are like being in the movie Mad Max, Thunder Road, and we are not doing that. Because I constantly have to remind him, because he's a man, that he is not immortal, and he is no longer 20 years old, and we cannot stay in our house and live our life if he is unalived. Because things would go very badly, because again, I am a teacher in Oklahoma. We are not teaching for the money, okay? We teach because it is exactly what I was created to do. And it only took him a little over a year to realize he did not enjoy a $700 payment for a motorcycle that he's not going to drive, because it is very high probability he's going to unalive while trying to go to work. So he, on his big boy self, figured out that girl, that was not including insurance, Jess. And mind you, I had just had my surgery. I only got to ride on it one time. Because I can tell you what we were not going to be doing anytime soon after you yeet a uterus out, getting on a motorcycle. No. So Cash at Baker, welcome in, welcome in. Hi, Miss Betty, good morning. And so he decided he didn't like, because between the BMW payment, which was $408, and his motorcycle, which was $700, that's a lot of money. Okay. Now the BMW came out of the joint account, whatever, but it was still his paycheck. Girl, of course he did, Jess. Of course he did. Meanwhile, I will hold on until literally it falls to rust and dust. My 2010 Honda Pilot I paid $8,000 for, that is paid for. Seriously, like the transmission pressure switch went out, and I called him and I was literally bawling. Like, I have such an emotional attachment to my car, because the thought of having a car payment makes me want to vomit. So 2 days before Christmas, which I know a lot of us, we already talked about this because, we lost his mama in September, and I knew Christmas was going to be hard. So I was kind of navigating it very gently. We weren't planning anything big. And see, I will cry the day that my car is no more. Because it has everything I want. It has heated seats. Okay, yes, that's my top thing. Well, one is that it's paid for. It has heated seats. It has a third row with leg room, and I still have cargo area when the third row is up. It has the flip down DVD, so I don't have to have 87 tablets and electronics in my car. It's the best car. It has a sunroof, heated seats, lumbar support, has all the things that almost 50-year-old me wants. Good morning, Monica. And so he, at Christmas, did not know that he had been pondering such changes. He decided that he wanted to just look. He was just going to look at the Tesla. And so he looked at the Tesla. He was like, will you go down with me? And I was kind of like, and listen, I'm going to preface this by, this is a safe space. I do not care what you believe politically. Okay. Everyone is welcome in here, even if your beliefs are different than mine. I do not like Elon Musk. Full stop. I do not like him. And for me, it was difficult to rally around a Tesla because I associate the two. However, I love it. Yeah. Going rogue. So that scared me too. So I was like, I don't want a Tesla. I don't want to ride in it. And then he's like, please just go to the dealership with me. I just want to look at it. Because in his mind, he had figured out that this motorcycle was costing him a lot of money because it was coming out of his account. I wasn't managing it for him. And so he was really seeing that hit. And you know what else is amazing? When we moved over his tool bills, which I've always been supportive of, like the tool trucks, if you know a blue collar person, like the Snap-on truck and the Cornwell truck and all of those trucks. So I'll talk about that, Bianca. And so he moved those over to his account. It's amazing he got those paid off and he quit buying stuff off the tool trucks. So he didn't want that motorcycle payment anymore. So he figured out he was going to trade in the BMW and the motorcycle. And he is saving $700 because he was like, I'm going to save all this money, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yay, go for it. Because I'm all about saving some money. Because let me tell you, the biggest flex I have is when I get to go to the thrift store or I go to Ross and somebody's like, oh, I like your dress. Like my white dress that I wore to PD, I got it for $11 in Miami at Ross because when I was on vacation, where did I go shopping? Ross. It brings me joy. That's what I choose to do, right? My shirt's from Temu. Okay. We're not fancy. My mug, also from Ross. No, this is from Penguin Apothecary. Sorry, it was a gift. But most of my mugs are from Ross or TJ Maxx. So the whole way to the dealership, he is like, and I'm like, it's 2 days before Christmas. It was literally, I don't remember if it was December 23rd or if it was actually Christmas Eve. And I was like, I think it was December 23rd. I said, we are not buying the car today. We are just looking at the car. Yes, we're not buying it. We're just looking. We're not buying it. How do you think that went? I'm sitting there already on edge because of my beliefs. And I don't want people to think that I like Mr. Musk. And so I'm a little in my head. I'm already, and I don't think it would have gotten me as much as I was really already in a high emotional state because it was right before Christmas. I felt like he was doing this because he was missing his mama. I mean, I knew the bottom was going to fall out at Christmas, right? Like I was kind of expecting it. So I was already emotionally exhausted from that. Good morning, Char. And we're sitting there and they come back with like the estimate of like, here's what the payment would be. Here's what we'll give you for your trade, you know, like all that kind of paperwork. I don't know. I don't buy my cars from dealerships. I have a mechanic husband. I kid you not, this man, good morning, Miss Lauren. Good morning, Nellie. I'm sitting there, right? I haven't said a word. I'm just the arm candy. He's welcome. And I'm thinking, per the conversation for the 40 minutes to the dealership and the one that happened at our house, we are going to say thank you. We'll think it over. Good morning, Sanctuary Artist. That is not the words that came out of my husband's mouth. He said, yeah, let's do it. I physically, the Holy Spirit had to come in and mute me because my head almost exploded. It was like an out-of-body experience because he said, yep, let's do it. And my head whipped over at that man. I didn't say anything. I just was like, we had just had the conversation. We were going to say, thank you for this information. We'll think it over. It's 2 days before Christmas. Nobody's going to come in and buy this car until after Christmas. And so the guy walks out to go get something else or whatever. And I said, I thought we weren't buying the car today, honey. Well, but it's a great deal. So here I sit in this dealership. He has just impulsively said, let's do it. And proceeds to purchase the car. There was no conversation. And I'm like, how do I handle this? Because I know that some of this impulsivity is an emotional response. And if I say, we're not doing this right now, then all of those emotions that he's feeling about his mom not being there for Christmas are going to go somewhere else, right? And so I just said, okay. And, you know, I'm trying to actively keep my emotions in check. And I was like, I need to use the restroom. And I just had to walk out of the room. So because I did, this is Greta Scarlett, Mocha Mania Monica, and then this one was Glittering Gina. I did it because I did the cherry cola lip look, and this made me think of cherry cola. So that's why I changed it. I was trying to be coordinated. I'm trying to be an influencer, Jess. Hi, Mackenzie. Good morning. Good morning, Demery. And so for me, I was like, well, what's done is done. But what I'm thinking of, like when we buy a car, yeah, that's me, Jess. And so for me, I was like, well, hi, Miss Christina. So with the car payment, he wasn't wrong. And like what they came back with, but like I'm the CEO of the family of this, you know, dog and pony show over here. And I'm sitting there thinking, we have used our credit union for, good morning, villain. Right. And so I was like, this is going to help him get through the holidays, whatever. But I'm thinking we just need to get the information because on this paperwork, my husband is just looking at the amount they're giving him as trade-ins and like what they're saying the monthly payment is, but he isn't asking what's the interest rate, what's the terms of the loan, how long is the loan for. He's just thinking new shiny thing to distract me from Christmas, right? And I am sitting there going, okay, so it was the 23rd because Christmas Eve morning, I get up and I'm like, he didn't sign the paperwork. He said, okay, I'll come back, you know, the day after Christmas, blah, blah, blah. And I said, you know, we have purchased 2 vehicles from our credit union. So we have a great pay history with this credit union. And historically, he has given us, they have given us amazing interest rates and terms and things like that. No, I didn't, Maverick. I'm sorry, hun. And I said, have you thought about calling the credit union, honey? Like, I'm trying to offer it like it's a suggestion, not a, you should do this. Like, I'm not going to mother him. I'm like, you know, have you thought about, because I'm curious. I said, what was the interest rate on this loan? And he's like, oh, I didn't think to look. I was like, oh, yeah, we should probably have asked that, because again, I don't want to just pay a bunch of interest. And girl, I have a ton of them. I don't know why I can't find them today. It's fine, whatever. And so he calls the credit union. And so now he loves me, you know, and thinks I'm the coolest, because with the credit union, he got the financing for it and it saved him $120 a month because the interest rate is low. So we get the car. Then it was, I said, well, but did you call our homeowner's insurance? Because a lot of homeowners insurance policies, you either have to have additional coverage, or you have to, you can't park an electric vehicle inside of the garage. And I'm like, the weather is kind of unpredictable here in Oklahoma. I wouldn't want to park my car outside, because one day it can be storming, one day it can be rainy, you know, icy, snowy, whatever. Good morning, risk taker. And so it's one of those where, I said, you know, did you call the homeowner's insurance? Did you think about, oh no, I haven't thought about that. I was like, okay, so I'll call them, blah, 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 blah. So he saved money by going to the credit union. It took me a few days to want to ride in it, because of I think it's like our insurance was fine. Like, we park it in the garage. We have State Farm. The thing about electric vehicles that have the large batteries underneath, which they are extremely safe, is one of the things that I'm learning about them. But if they are, good morning, Gringo, if they are to catch fire, they're very difficult to put out by traditional firefighting means. Amy would know this if she's still in here. She probably had to go to work, but because they're ramping up for tax season. But electric vehicle battery fires are very difficult. And so, but it was, then we had to, they can be, but they have, yes, because of the chemicals that are in them. Because you can get it out, but then it can keep going, is kind of like, it's kind of like those birthday candles that you blow out, but then they come, you know, they're the trick candles or whatever. And so, but we're allowed to have it. We didn't have to have any additional addendums or anything. Natty, my love. Hello. How is England, love? And so, but then we had to get a charger put in, which was an electric company. I know, I'm getting back in it. I'll be on Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings. So I don't know how to calculate it for your time zone, but it's 7:45 Central, my time, and to 8:30 each Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's cold here in Oklahoma too. It is cold here as well, my love. So we have, I'll take you guys out there. You can see it. We have a charger that's now in the wall. We had to have an electrician. Well, actually, he did it. He got all you know, Bob Vila on me. And it's cold out in the garage. But then we had an electrician come out and certify it, and then we have to wait on the city. But now in our garage, we just have this. And it's got the little thing right here, and you just plug the car in. Some things that I learned about it, and I think for my husband, what was really impressive is you don't, I mean, it does have some oil, but you don't need oil. The batteries can be spendy, but they are required by law. They have to be covered by warranty. I want to say it's for like 5 or 8 years. So it's pretty substantial, the safeguards that they have in for like, that you don't have to pay for them. So, but yeah, I don't know if I might have lost you guys when I went out into the garage because it's like a Faraday cage out there. But I was not sure about full self-driving. Good morning. How are you, Miss Alicia? I love it. I love it. I have never felt so safe. It has different modes. I put it on chill mode, which is the least aggressive. If everybody had a full self-driving car, I don't think there would be accidents. Now, you cannot be asleep. You cannot, because there are cameras in the cabin of the vehicle. It's monitoring you as the driver. So you cannot, you can't be asleep. You can't be a distracted driver. I will tell you, okay, listen. I'm on my phone less because it'll dink at me. So that part is interesting because this is what I think. I think if they had regulations where everybody had to get over to these vehicles that were full self-driving mode, and in fact, my husband and I were talking about this last night. They already have the technology, and I don't know if they do in England, but we already have very rudimentary technology that for people who have had a history of operating a vehicle while intoxicated, where they have to do a breathalyzer before their vehicle will start. If that became where everybody had full self-driving mode, then just have that built in. Have that be a thing, right? They already have the technology. That wouldn't be a thing. You just, okay, that starts my car. What I like it for is my husband hates Oklahoma City traffic. It's not something common here. It's something, Natty, that you have to have multiple offenses of intoxicated operation. And it's court ordered that it get put on your vehicle. You don't, I think in my whole life, I've seen 2. Right. Yeah. And you get party plates. Woo! Yes. Yeah. It's a smart start. Yeah. They should. They should. Natty, they should. Yeah. So it's one of those where I really like it. It's very great. Yes. It's yeah, you would think they do, but they don't. It changes lanes correctly. It always uses its signal. The little blink, 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 blink. Always. Everybody, there would be no anti-blinker people. It is lovely. Good morning, boy mom. It's one of those where it is, you're just relaxed. One of the things we have here, because in Oklahoma City, we have the 3 major interstates that go across the whole country. They all converge in Oklahoma City. I don't know if everybody is aware of that. I say that when you look on a map, it's because we are the butthole of the country, but I shouldn't say that. But I-35 connects the Mexican and Canadian border across the U.S. that goes, I live 2 miles off of I-35. Like, it is straight there. I-40 connects east to west. And then we have I-44, which used to be Route 66, and that connects Chicago to Los Angeles. And they all cross right in Oklahoma City. There's a lot of big rig truckers. And it's rough. It's rough driving it. Route 66 is still there. But a lot of portions of Route 66, Natty, the highway is still there, but there are portions of it that were kind of absorbed into Interstate 44 when they created that. So yes, you can still drive the original Route 66 and go through all of the small towns and like relive the Disney Pixar movie Cars. But I know. So Lisa, Natty lives in England. So interstate are highways that are maintained by the federal government. So and they are monitored by federal government, and they're responsible for the repairs and infrastructure because they are highways that stretch across more than one state. So that's why we call them interstates. And more commonly, you'll hear people say, like, I wouldn't necessarily, like when I'm talking to somebody here, I wouldn't say Interstate 35. I would say I-35. We abbreviate it. So if you hear somebody in the US talking about I-40 or I-35 or I-9, it's interstate. Federal is bigger. So the way the US government structure is set up, Natty, we are technically a republic, not a democracy. And so we are a collaboration of states that have agreed to work together. And so we have kind of like the way my husband and I do our finances, right? We each have our own purse, if you will. And then we have a purse that we put money into that benefits everything in the house. And so the federal government, states pay into that. We pay taxes into that. We pay taxes as individuals to the federal government. And then depending on where you live, you may also have taxes that you pay into your specific state. And so that's kind of how that gets separated out. So we have federal things and we have state things, but states still have autonomous rights that they are in control of. But the federal government, like currency and things like that, they're in charge of the currency for the entire country so that there is that commerce. Because originally when we were, leaving y'all, each state had like their own currency and things like that. So they centralized all of those things to allow kind of like the euro. And that's how we ended up with the US dollar. That is the very abbreviated. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I am not a history teacher. I'm a science teacher. But there are things like interstates. Now, state highways, the states are responsible for the repairs and the maintenance and things like that on those. So that's kind of how that works. So it's like a divide and conquer as far as bills and who's responsible for paying for what. And so that's how that works. But he would come home from work. Yes. So yes, Natty, but it is now, for right now, with the Obergefellder case from the Supreme Court, and I don't remember what year that was. It was when Obama was president. That is legal in every state now. But yes, prior to the Obergefell decision, it was a state-by-state basis of whether or not that type of marriage was recognized. Yes. I have to be careful what I say on here. TikTok is very sensory. And so Poppy Sue, my dog is getting into something. She is like having a toddler. Poppy Sue. Poppy Sue. She gets real quiet when I call her name. Poppy Sue. Come here. She's gonna wait for me to stop talking. Come here. So then the other dog comes out. She cracks me up. Georgia is like the big sister where she lets her do the things and is like, what? I didn't do it. Poppy Sue. Ma'am. Come on. Come on. You have the longest legs ever. Come on. Come on. Come on. No, now they're going to fuss with each other. They're not being mean. They're just being puppies. Georgia is 4 and she just does not have time. Okay, you guys want to go back outside? Poppy too. They want to see you. Come here. Come here. Okay, so here's the babies. There, she wants to go out. That's Miss Poppy Sue. Georgia, you're grumpy this morning, old lady. Woo, that wind is cold. Ooh, go have fun. Yes, Miss Lisa works for the Red Cross, so we love what she does. Floating holidays. Yeah, we have I get to use one floating holiday every 6 months in my work. Bye, Miss Natty. We love you. Stay warm. But back to Tesla and the self-driving mode. Really? Yes, I'll be here. We love self-driving mode because my husband usually, when he would come home from work, hi, King Panda, would be so exhausted mentally from fighting the traffic because he works about 45 minutes away from home and it's all city traffic and construction and all of those things. He would just be in the chair and be done. Like he didn't want to interact with the kids. And it's not that he didn't love them. Like he's a great dad to them, like a fantastic dad to them. He was just mentally spent from the drive. Since getting this vehicle and having the full self-driving mode, because that mental load of having to watch everything and be like a Secret Service agent, hello, Reds, he's just mentally here more. Like he's more relaxed when he walks in the door. Yesenia, good morning. And hi, Nicole. He's wanted to do more projects around the house. This weekend, he was like, I want to be able to maybe, believe me, my head was reeling on this. He's thinking about trading it in only because he wants to get a larger one so that the kids have more room in the back of the vehicle. So this weekend, there is a place here in Oklahoma City where you can rent the Teslas. So he rented it for 2 days. We had it for Saturday and Sunday. And it was a Model Y. And it had hardware, what they call hardware 4. And so we, the first day, I was like, he's like, well, let's, he woke up Saturday and was like, let's go on a trip. And I was like, what? And I was like, where are we going? We have dogs. I have a puppy. I can't just be gone. Quesada, welcome in. He proceeded to, I was like, well, you know what? I've never been to the Great Salt Plains here in Oklahoma. Let's go do that. Well, we learned some lessons on this trip. There are no chargers once you get off the highway. Hello, Steph. Once you get off the highway to go to this little bitty town in Northwest Oklahoma. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out with me. And so we get there and it starts giving us all these warnings and it's like, turn back now or you're going to run out of battery. Well, I didn't like it. I did not like it. Let me tell you what I was doing. I was on my phone going, how do you do this? Blah, 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 blah. Because there's nothing. There's nothing. So you have to turn off the heater and you have to drive slower. And then your battery lasts longer. So we made it back to the supercharger, 2%. Okay. So range anxiety is a thing. So then that opened up a conversation about, if you're wanting to get a different vehicle. Good morning, Miss Tay. Good morning, Brandy. If he's really wanting to upgrade as a family vehicle, I'm thinking, is it going to feasibly replace my Honda Pilot, which is like the family vehicle? And I said, I don't know. And so it was one of those things where I just didn't think the space was there. It works great. The Model Y works great if we just have the 2 youngest kids with us. But for the next few years, we've still got our 14-year-old who's going to want to take trips with us in the same vehicle. Even the Model Y isn't going to have enough space. I mean, they can all fit in there. But do any of you, right, is that little bit of space? And that was the conversation we were having. We also had to have the conversation after the 2% incident. Is this feasible if we wanted to go anywhere that's not on an interstate, especially where we live in the country? Now, I think if we were on the coast where these types of charging stations and things like that are much more common, then I don't think that would be a part of a conversation we have. But because our state has so much rural area, hi Sabrina, hi MGN, is it justifying that? And so after I'm learning kind of the different models, so there's the Model 3 and the Model Y, and then there's the S and the Model X. So there's 4. I didn't feel like it was. And so, hi Sandy. And so we went ahead and I was like, after that first day of going out, we knew that the rural thing was kind of out. Thank you for the heart on my noggin. Good morning, Miss Sharon. We went and I said, well, let's drive down do an interstate trip and just see, because are there viable places? And so we could have went up to Tulsa, but that's all turnpike. And so life goal achieved. I guess I have to do a thing. Thank you, Miss Tay. Appreciate you. Set up a new goal. Okay, we can do that. I'll edit. Ding, ding, ding. We'll go here. We'll do, there we go. I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. That was the first one on the list. Antivirus. Welcome in, welcome in. And so we drove down I-35 and my favorite place on the planet is Buc-ee's. The closest Buc-ee's is about 3.5 hours from where we live. It's in Denton, Texas. So we made a road trip of it. We drove down, but I will tell you, I really liked the road trip with the full self-driving mode on. You cannot be asleep. It is monitoring you. And I remember there was one thing I wanted to look at outside the window and I was looking for too long to the side, and it will ground you. It will take away I got a puzzle piece. It will take away your self-driving abilities. It will go beep, beep, beep. You are grounded for this trip. Okay, Blondie. So you can't just be asleep. Even if you're on your phone, it sees that and it'll go beep, 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 and it'll tell you, and you have to touch the steering wheel every once in a while. So you have to be awake. You're just the mental load of making every decision about where is every vehicle on the road. Should I change lanes? What is going on? You don't have to think about those things. So it is full self-driving mode, but actually it's called supervised full self-driving mode. So the car is making a lot of the decisions, but you, like at any time, I can grab that wheel and it'll immediately turn it off. So I like that. It is not technically fully autonomous. It is not unsupervised. Are there going to be people that probably find ways around it? Of course there are. Like, isn't that what humans do? But you have to be awake. Like, you can't be asleep. What I really like it for, I think about my little sweet neighbor that I help take care of now that Miss Judy has passed with his diabetes. I love it for elderly because as you age, your reaction times get slower. They drive too slow because they're nervous. They're taking in all the information. I think it's a great advancement to allow seniors to have more independence while they're driving. So that for me, I like it. I also like it for younger drivers. Hi, Kelly. I love it for younger drivers because they're still not learning how to make those decisions. And what I really like about it is, you've got that screen. And as a young driver who's learning to drive, they can watch what the car is doing and learn from that. They can watch like when it's changing lanes or how it's staying in. What I love the most about it, I will say, when I learned to drive, I think, and I don't know, you guys can give me feedback on this. Hi, Sheena. One of the hardest things, like when I was learning to drive, yeah. When I was learning to drive, the hardest part for me was learning how to stay in the lanes, especially because I'm 5'7", I'm a little bit shorter. It's always hard for me to see the hood, like to really see where you are. And I think for learning to drive, that's one of the hardest things, is learning the feel of where you should be in the lanes, right? Good morning, Debbie. With a self-driving vehicle, I gotta let Miss 4-year-old dog back in. She's like, it's too cold out here. I'm not playing with this puppy out here. Georgia's like, I want none of it. Come on, Miss Georgia. Good morning, honey. You can see on the map where the car is in the lane, like you see your vehicle. And I like that because I was sitting there thinking about it yesterday when it was driving. And I said, if I could be in the vehicle and know that it's in the lanes where I'm supposed to be, I could be learning what it looks like. And I think I would have learned and felt more comfortable with driving on my own quicker with a car like that. So, Journey, welcome in. So I did. I found it really interesting. I'm still not getting rid of my Honda, but I like a lot of aspects of it. It's quiet. That I love. There is a quietness to the vehicle. I think the hardest part for me was what they call regenerative braking. And so the vehicle has, you don't necessarily need to use the brake pedal. Like even if you're in drive, if you want it to stop, you just let off the gas. You just let off the accelerator. So that part was really interesting. If you've ever driven an electric golf cart, that's kind of what it reminds me of, is an electric golf cart. Oh my God. So the puppy came, opened the back door, and then the 4-year-old dog that I literally just let in went back outside. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting vehicle dynamic. I don't know, do any of y'all have electric vehicles or Teslas? I'm learning a lot from them. So, but it is time for, you know what? Here, listen, Tay, if you can ever put it in your budget, I will say, because I have horrible road anxiety. I am constantly worried about being in an accident. I feel that completely. If you ever have the ability to ride with somebody that has the self-driving vehicle or anything like that, if you ever get that chance, take it, because you might actually see, you might actually see that it is, I didn't think I was either, Joanne. I didn't think I was either. I find it interesting that my husband is, because he's a mechanic. But Tay, I know I'm a lot more at ease, which is definitely, if you had asked me, a month ago, will you feel more at ease in a car that's driving itself versus you driving? I would be like, absolutely not. Not gonna do it. I didn't think I ever would be either. Listen, I am not somebody who enjoys change, but it is remarkably peaceful. It's remarkably peaceful. It is, I don't mind it at all. So, yeah, it's interesting. But I do need to head out. I've got to get bread dough going for the day. It's Monday, so I should have made them yesterday, but I was busy gallivanting around in an electric vehicle. We've got bread dough to be made today. I'm making steak tips for dinner. What are y'all having for dinner? And I'm going to enjoy. My children are still asleep because it's holiday. I'm going to hunt for my eye masks. We're going to get our space cleaned up because some of us are apparently toddlers. I will be back on tonight though. Mondays, I'll always have 2 lives. I'll be on at 7:45 a.m. and I'll be on at 8 p.m. Central Time. That's because we always do nail releases on Tuesdays. And so I'll be doing the preview of what's coming for Tuesday's launches every Monday night at 8 o'clock on here until I can switch it over to the Book of Faces, and we're going to call that Misfit Mondays. I just can't do it for 60 days over on the Book of Faces because I haven't had that Misfit account long enough. But so here I'll be live again tonight at 8 o'clock p.m. Central. Come on in. We'll see what nails they are releasing. I'm excited. I'm wondering if it's going to be more Valentine's nails. I don't know. But just know the world is better because you are in it. And here at Misfits, we believe beauty is for everybody and you belong here. I'll see you guys later.